Today's an unboxing video. Up at our farm, we've got two 400-pound deer feeders. They're gravity feeders. 400 pounds in each one, that's 800 pounds of feed. We go through that every 3 to 4 weeks. The deer just wipe it out. It got real expensive. I've had people tell me just to throw corn in there. When you throw corn into a feeder, especially bulk corn, it's dusty. It doesn't have any kind of a smell on it. And the deer kind of come once in a while and they'll sit at that feeder for like a minute. They'll eat some corn and then they'll leave. You'll get blue jays, doves, raccoons. And once raccoons find that corn, it's over. They're there every night trying to eat your corn. Here where I am in PA, and bear. If the bear finds that corn inside that feeder, it's over. You got to shut it down because they're going to come back every night and you're not allowed to feed the bear in PA. So once they find that feeder and it has corn in it, you got to empty it out until they leave. Also, I have trail cameras facing the feeder. So once the raccoons, the birds find that feeder, my cameras are going off nonstop taking pictures of Tweety birds and raccoons at nighttime, and squirrels too. So we're going to get a lot of different animals besides the deer. Feeding corn isn't really a good idea, especially in a colder environment, because it's just carbohydrates. It's just carbs. That's all the deer is going to get out of the corn. They need more than just that. They need fiber and they need protein. So feeding a deer feed is better than just corn. When I had bulk corn in my feeders, it would take a while for the deer to find it. And once they found that bulk corn, they would just hit it for like a minute or two and then leave. If you actually buy feed corn in bags and deer corn, they do coat it with some kind of a smell and maybe some kind of minerals or something, or supplement powder or something that's on the corn. So it does have a smell to it and it attracts the deer more than just bulk corn. When I put feed corn in there, because of that smell, they came to it more often and more deer came to it more often. But again, they only ate it for a minute or two and then they leave. So over the last few years, I've been putting in record rack, and it's deer feed. It's pellets. They have different types, but I use the pellets. That has a smell so good that it smells like candy, like you want to eat it yourself. And it's high in fiber, it's high in protein, and of course it has all the other vitamins and minerals in it. And it has the ingredients on the bag, and you can read that on there. It's actually made for deer. When I put that Sportsman record rack pellets in that feeder, when I drive away with my buggy, within an hour, those deer are coming down to that feeder. And once the deer hit that feeder, they're coming back to it. Probably every 3 or 4 hours, the deer are coming back to that feeder, and a lot of deer. So the whole feed, they're actually fighting, trying to get into that feeder. I've had 6, 7, 8 deer at a time waiting their turn, trying to get to that feeder to eat. Once they find those deer pellets, they're coming back nonstop, day and night. As long as there's no human activity around, they're coming to it and they're wiping it out within 3 or 4 weeks. One downside to using these pellets is they can't get wet. It's a pellet. It's not like corn. You can throw corn on the ground and the corn kernel stays corn kernel for a long time before it starts getting moldy. But with these pellets, it's almost like a rabbit pellet, or it's exactly like a rabbit pellet, just a little bit bigger. Once it gets wet, it turns to mush. So you can't sprinkle it on the ground, and you probably can't even have it in one of those time feeders that throw out unless they come and eat it right away. Because once these pellets hit the ground, and if the ground's wet or it absorbs moisture, the pellet just expands and turns into mush, and the deer won't eat it if it's mush. So if you're using the pellets, you got to have a trough. You got to have something with a cover over top of it or underneath some sort of shelter. Even if you have a gravity feeder, one of these plastic small gravity feeders, these 70-pounders, which I have, just the little nozzle sticks out. If the rain blows and hits that nozzle where they eat, that'll turn to mush right there too. So you have to turn it to where the wind doesn't blow inside your hole where they're eating. You have to keep these pellets dry. So keep that in mind if you want to start feeding. The only place that you can really buy this deer feed is through Tractor Supply. And I belong to the Tractor Supply Club. Every time I buy something, they ask for my phone number and they put my phone number in, and I get nothing. I don't get coupons from these people. All they do is send you an advertisement for things that may be on sale or something. I think maybe once a year I'll get a 10% off coupon, which is ridiculous. But I actually asked, every time I go there, I ask Tractor Supply, do you have any kind of discounts, like a veteran discount or anything? And it's always no. It's always no. Are you a member of the club? Yeah, well, you don't get nothing for it. If you do, let me know in the comments that if you get something back from being a Tractor Supply Club, but you don't. Every time I go to Tractor Supply, I have to buy 16 bags. They're 50-pound bags of this thing, and of course, they never have enough. It's like they got 8 bags. It's kind of a pain in the butt to try to fill up these feeders only through Tractor Supply. Now, they do have a program where you can bulk order it. If you have a silo on your farm, they'll come in with an 18-wheeler or something and fill up your silo with their feed, but that's not an option for regular people either. So I reached out to them. I said, look, here's the situation. I'm buying an awful lot of your feed here. I'm going through it fast. What can you do for me? So I got an email response the next day, and they said they do not have any kind of sponsorship program as of yet. They said they're going to look into it, see if they can do anything. So lo and behold, I got a box in the mail. So, and it's from them. So let's open up this box and see what's in here. It's going to be a surprise for us. So it's actually pretty nice that they send anything at all. But I am curious to see what they got in here. All right, let's see. Okay. Yeah. So this is the card from the lady that I was in touch with here. We got a little note here, the same person that sent the email. Some record rack earplugs in a little case. Looks like one of those window decals that you stick in your back window of your truck. What's this? Oh, that's pretty cool. A neck gaiter. It actually has on there record rack in light and dark all over the whole thing. So that's pretty cool. Oh, that's nice. A reversible hat with record rack on it. Oh, this is what I wanted right here. Coupons. $5 off. That's huge. Only one at a time though, but $5 off a bag. That's huge. Ah, and a nice shirt. Let's check this out. It's like a nice work shirt. Pretty sharp. It's a Dickies shirt. So a nice Dickies shirt, a nice work shirt. So that's pretty good. So That was really nice of them. So I emailed them up, told them the situation, and they sent out a goodie box. So that's a pretty good deal that a company would do that, to send out some stuff like that. The record rack for me is working great. Since I've been feeding this record rack, I noticed that the deer, they still have their full racks, and the racks have mass to it. We're trying to only shoot 3-year-old and older bucks on it, and all those 3-year-olds and older have no broken tips on any of their rack, and the mass is on there on these racks. They're really symmetrical, thick mass with no broken points. Now, can I attribute that to the record rack? I'm going to say yes, because they've had this year-round, except for 30 days before hunting season. In the state of PA, you can't feed deer, you can't bait deer 30 days prior to hunting. So they have this Sportsman's Choice record rack pellets year-round. The pellets have the protein in it. It's got the fiber and all the other content that the deer needs to have a balanced diet. So it's not corn. Corn's just carbohydrates for your deer. So using these pellets is helping the does with the fawns and the antlers for these bucks. So I recommend using deer pellets, especially the record rack. The smell on it and the attractant alone, if you're trying to just attract the deer, it works. It smells like candy. They come right in. And once hunting season's over, with my trail camera, I'm actually seeing the bucks that survive the season come back and actually eat some of that feed. And I can say, holy cow, that deer made it. This big buck disappeared all hunting season, and now he's back and he's still alive. January, February, March right now, it's a really tough time for him. It's the beginning of March right now, and I see some of the bucks showing up with one half of the rack missing, and I can really keep track of the bucks that are around and see a lot of bucks that I've never even seen before, but having them come back to that feed with the camera there is pretty cool. But I contribute that to the record rack. With just corn there, I get half as many deer. They don't spend much time at that feeder. But with these pellets, with this record rack pellets, it's nonstop deer. So I do recommend using the Sportsman's Choice record rack pellets.